Hello everybody and happy Tuesday. First things first, can we just talk about the amazing weather today? It's so nice that we finally got some sunshine. I just feel like a completely new person, and I really find that once the weather starts to get nicer, we are a lot more motivated. You know, you're out, you're moving, you're walking around. It's just like a completely different energy as soon as that weather starts to shift. So I hope you guys were able to enjoy the sunshine and the incredible weather today and the stuff that we're going to be getting for the next few months. It's fantastic. It was actually hot at one point today when I was walking, and I was like, I can't believe it. Like, it seemed like winter was never ending and I was always going to be cold. So I'm really pumped and I'm really happy about that. And what a great time to really try to up your metabolism. You know, it's that warmer weather. We're going to be wearing things that are a little bit more revealing. Some more skin is going to be showing, and you want to feel good and confident in your skin. And when you're holding on to those annoying extra 5-10 pounds that you just can't seem to get rid of, no matter how clean you eat or how hard you work out, and you just feel completely lost, well, I'm here today to help you with that, okay? So I've got six tips that we're gonna talk about. We will talk about some foods and some other things as well. I have lots of notes today that I'm gonna be using because I really wanna make sure that I give you guys the best information possible. So please give me a thumbs up, a heart, comment. Let me know if this is something that you're struggling with. If you feel like your metabolism is kind of working against you, that you feel like maybe you're doing a lot of the right things, but you're not seeing the results. If you feel that it's just not fair and you're like, what is happening? Why am I not losing the weight? So please let me know, guys. Let me know what you're struggling with. You can give me some examples. I just want to see lots of conversation. The more conversation we have, the more we're going to learn from each other. So make sure you chime in and give me your 2 cents throughout this whole conversation as well, okay? So first off, what is metabolism? So metabolism is the chemical reactions that are happening in your body, and that is creating your energy. So your body needs metabolism to survive. So your metabolism is the process of turning calories that we consume into energy. Okay, so calories consumed, energy is basically all that metabolism is. So typically your metabolism starts to slow as you age. Especially when you get to kind of the 40-year mark, which I see time and time again with clients of, I was skinny all through high school. I never worried about weight in my 20s, and now I'm, in my 40s and I'm struggling. So that is a very common thing, but it doesn't mean that you're going to be stuck. Hi, Mom. It doesn't mean that you're going to be stuck and that you can never get your metabolism back. And I think a lot of people start to give up because they think, well, I'm 46 and I put on 20 pounds in the last 10 years, and no matter what I do, I'm not losing the weight. So they kind of get frustrated and they start to give up, and then it's just like a downward spiral from there. So there's a bunch of different factors that actually affect your metabolism. One would be your genetic makeup. And for some reason, people seem to think that their genetic makeup is the end all be all. And they'll say, well, my mom was 40 pounds overweight, my dad was 60 pounds overweight, my brother's overweight, my cousin, my uncle, therefore I am going to be overweight, which is actually not the case at all. It might mean that you have to work a little bit harder or eat a little bit cleaner, but it does not mean that you are destined to have a life of being overweight or having a slow and sluggish metabolism. Lori, you're so sweet. Okay, the other thing would be just your body composition. So the more muscle mass you have, the faster your metabolism is going to be. And then the more fat that you have, the slower your metabolism is going to be, okay? Then we've also got gender. So typically, men are very fortunate and they seem to have a faster metabolism than us. And again, time and time again, I hear with clients is, my husband and I decided we were going to get fit together, we're going to lose the weight, and he's lost 20 pounds and I've lost 4, and I'm eating less than him, I'm working out more than him, what the hell? And unfortunately, women just have a different makeup when it comes with their hormones, and as well, we just store weight differently. Obviously, we need a higher percentage of body fat than men do, and unfortunately, that one's just not fair. So men do have the advantage on that one. Also, your hormonal health plays a huge role on your metabolism. So, and your hormonal health, it could be because of nutritional deficiencies. It could be something that you have. It could be that you have food intolerances or you just have an autoimmune condition. But it can also be drastically affected by the things that you're consuming. So this is why I always talk about why you should eat organic or why you should be using clean skincare products and hair care products, because all of those things that aren't natural, have chemicals in them that can sink in, like, well, it's going to go on your skin, right? Your skin's your largest organ in your body. And once it's absorbed into your skin, it's now in your body, and it's going to affect your hormones. And if your hormones aren't proper and regulated, it's going to affect every part of your body, including your metabolism. So it's actually, there's been some evidence that by switching to cleaner products like skincare, shampoo, body wash, makeup, everything, just like not using saran wrap, not using the microwave, that people can actually speed up their metabolism because they're getting rid of all of those toxins and that junk in their body, and their body's able to do what it's supposed to do, and the liver can detoxify properly. So that's actually, I guess, a bonus one that I wasn't even planning on talking about, but just having not just your food clean, but your environment clean. Okay, from there, we're going to go on to your level of activity, obviously. If you don't work out and you're sitting 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day at the office, you're going to have a lot slower of a metabolism. And we will get into that a lot deeper coming up. I'm B12 deficient and take a supplement. Find that helps the boost now that I'm not so young. Yeah, for sure. I mean, the B12 is going to give you extra energy, right? And it's going to maybe push you to work harder in your workout. It's going to encourage you to go out for that walk. And even when you have more energy, you want to eat cleaner foods. It's often that we're really tired and sluggish that we reach for the not so healthy foods. So that's a great supplement to take. Are you taking, just out of curiosity, a B complex with that as well? Just let me know. Age, which we already kind of discussed, and some of these factors you can control, some of them you can't, but the ones that you can control, let's work on. Side note, lip color. It was funny, I was actually going to mention this, that what I love about spring is that I can start wearing my obnoxiously bright lipsticks again. And this actually is way brighter than it looks with the light that I have on. It's like this obnoxious Barbie purple, and I love it. But thank you for that. Okay, so there are things called metabolism boosters, and that's what we're going to go over today. I do take a B complex. Okay, good. I wanted to hear that. That's perfect. How do you know if you're in need to boost your metabolism? Here are some of the signs. Ongoing fatigue, cold body temperature, and that frequently cold feeling, thinning hair on your head, cracked, dry skin, low libido, irregular periods, slow growing brittle fingernails, trouble sleeping through the night. Ooh, I bought a few of these. Constipation and slow moving bowels. That one's a big cue, because if you're not going to the bathroom enough, it's a really good sign that your metabolism is not doing what it's supposed to do. Bloating after eating, mood disorders like anxiety and depression, struggling to lose weight, obviously. Excessive thirst and dry mouth can mean that your metabolism's not working properly. Trouble concentrating, brain fog, allergies and hypersensitivities, low energy levels, which sounds exactly like ongoing fatigue that they listed. Low motivation for physical activity, and getting sick often. So here is tip number 1. And this one, I think you guys are going to be kind of surprised to hear. And I really hope that some of you that are listening, I know you're going to be this person. You need to stop dieting. And I know that seems counterintuitive, and you're just like, what do you mean? I need to eat more and to have a stronger metabolism? Yes, you need to eat more. What often happens is that if you're not eating enough food, your body goes into starvation mode, and it is going to hold on to everything for dear life so that it doesn't die. It's going to hold on to all of your fat. Like, you have to think back about, like, yes, maybe now in 2018, we have access to every type of food all the time, whenever we want. Well, at least here in North America, for the most part. We're very fortunate in that way, but our bodies haven't evolved that quickly. So, you know, like a long time ago, I was going to say a certain year, but I don't know, but a long time ago when we were hunters and gatherers, like, we weren't like eating the way we're eating now. And so they would go into starvation mode because they literally needed it to survive. So our bodies are still kind of functioning that same way, but even though our starvation mode, it's not the same, right? Like, we're not like struggling for food in the winter like they were in the past, where they needed to really conserve their energy and hold on to that fat. So stop dieting. You also find a lot of the times when you're on a strict diet that you're moody, you're miserable, you feel sick, you feel tired, and then you want to quit. And then when you quit, you binge eat. And then when you start binge eating, well, your body's already been like, you've been depriving me for so long. Oh my God, here's food. I got to hold on to all of that food so that if I starve again, I can go longer without eating. So every time you do one of those stupid yo-yo diets, you're messing with your metabolism. And this causes me rage because there's so much information out there and it's so overwhelming and so confusing for people. And how are you supposed to know what to do? Myself included 10 years ago was trying these stupid fad diets. And it's really unfortunate. And that's the thing, is you really, really have to unfortunately do your own research, because if something seems too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. I just see a couple comments here. What is the benefit of the B complex with the B12? So anytime that you're taking a B vitamin, Jackie, like if you were taking, say, B6 or B3 or whatever for a specific reason, they want your B should be balanced. So if you take the B12, taking a B complex with it, it's going to help balance everything out. You don't want to have an imbalance of your B vitamins. So you don't want to have a lot of B12 and then not a lot of the rest. You want them to be more balanced. So that's why you would do that. Oh my God, this is so sad. This is all the time. Sorry, my thing just moved. I'm coming back. Thank God I tuned in. Oh, Holly, well, I'm really glad that you tuned in too. And then Sarah says, but what is the beautiful lip color? Oh, what is it? I don't know. I found it in the bottom of my lipstick thing. I have like a whole basket of lipsticks and I was like, oh, and so I can't remember what it is, but if I can, I'll look it up after for you. Okay, from there. So tip number 1 is stop dieting. We want you to break up with dieting. Is there anything else I wanted to cover here? Well, okay, I was going to cover this later, but I guess this kind of makes more sense to go with the food. So if you're over exercising, and this is a thing I see all the time of women, they're like, I work out 6 days a week. I do cardio and I work out for a full hour and I'm only eating 1,000 calories. How am I not losing the weight? Well, that's exactly what's happening, is your body is going into starvation mode. And you'll see, I can almost guarantee that 99% of you, if you either slow down the working out or up your caloric intake, you will see a difference in your body. Now, I'm not saying go eat a McDonald's cheeseburger and stop working out. It's about finding that balance. And if you're too hard on your body, you're not giving it the nutrients that it needs, it can't perform properly. So your metabolism can't run properly if your body's not running properly. So if you're deficient in vitamins and minerals and you're not getting enough calories or carbs or protein, then of course your metabolism's not going to work. So you need to make sure you up the calories. I don't ever want to see anybody go below 1,200 calories a day. Even that is, to me, like, no. I don't count calories. I don't count macros. I would guesstimate that I probably eat between 1,600 and 2,000 a day. Obviously, some days are more, some days are less, but I did used to count calories, and I didn't like the results. I became obsessive. If I went even 20 calories over what my fitness pal said, I would start doing jumping jacks before I would go to bed to make sure I burned off those 20 calories. Life doesn't need to be that complicated, and the food shouldn't be punishment. You know, you shouldn't be punishing yourself because you ate. I would feel bad because I ate too many carrot sticks with hummus. And I was like, oh my God, 50 calories too. Like, no. And that stress that you get when you have that food guilt is also going to affect your weight, because stress causes cortisol to release in the body, and cortisol involves storing belly fat. So the more you stress out about your weight and you get that obsession, oftentimes you're not going to lose the weight. So just kind of chilling out and just letting the process happen naturally. And again, I know that sounds hard and I know it sounds daunting, but you got to up the calories and you got to reduce the exercise a little bit. Okay. So just another note that I had here is people that are well fed and avoid yo-yo dieting often experience better digestion, positive moods, and more motivation. Practicing balance and moderation allows you to make better decisions related to healthy eating long-term goals. And that's 100% true. Like, the better that you're feeling, the more you want to eat clean food. Okay, tip number 2, it's actually getting more sleep. And I know that's really hard, especially because with Really Fit, we have a ton of young moms. So yeah, unfortunately, just sleep is one of the boosters. It doesn't mean, and maybe you don't have time right now. Maybe with the kids, it's just not an option, but you can do the other 5 things. But when you can, really try to get quality 8 hours of sleep. There's a proven link between your metabolism working properly and functioning properly, and the right amount of sleep. And then, so not enough sleep can, same exact thing I was just talking about, is it can actually release cortisol in the body and then store weight in the midsection. I can't seem to scroll down for some reason, so I'm not seeing, oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, Carly's watching. Hello, Carly. Okay. Also, when you're tired, you tend to make a lot poor food decisions. So I don't know about you guys, but if I'm tired and I'm cranky and I'm low energy, I'm just like, I want a bagel and I want pasta and I want chips and I want it all. So when I'm like that energized, feeling really great, that's when I'm like kind of craving the healthier foods. So if you notice that you crave those carbs a lot, it might be because you're not getting enough sleep. Tip number 2, up the intensity of your workout. So I was saying earlier is working out less, but increasing the food, but you want your workouts to be really efficient and intense. So doing HIIT training, high intensity interval training. It's what obviously we promote with Royally Fit. That's what our workouts are most of the time, almost all of the time for Royally Fit Online. You want those bursts of energy. So whether you're doing sprints or jump ropes or, jogging in place or squat jumps, whatever you can do to really get that heart rate up fast, and then you take your rest, that's gonna really help to boost your metabolism. It does something by creating an afterburn. So what an afterburn means is that your metabolism is still revved up post-workout. And it can be revved up for anywhere from 24 to sometimes even 48 hours, depending on how hard you went. So sitting on the treadmill for an hour, jogging at a pace of, let's say 5, is going to be far less effective than 20 minutes of high intensity interval training. You need that heart rate up, you need to get sweaty, you need to just push it, okay? You're going to have a way longer afterburn than if you're just going a steady state cardio. That's not even really going to give you much of a afterburn at all, if any. So short, efficient workouts is what's really going to help you. So things like Tabata as well, and then burst training. Burst training is where you would go all out, like full-fledged sprinting for 20 seconds. And then you would take, say, a minute off. You take enough time off that you let that heart rate come back to normal. So when you go back to that next burst, you can go full-fledged. So if you really want to see a change, one thing I love to do at the end of my workouts, or at the beginning, but I like it at the end better, is you can either go outside or jump on a treadmill if you have access to one, and literally it's just sprint for 20 seconds. Again, jump off. Sprint for 20 seconds, jump off. Do it 4 or 5 times and continually do that, and you will see a difference in your midsection for sure. Next tip is to start lifting weights. So we're talking about working out and the HIIT training. You also want to make sure that you're lifting weights. The more weights that you lift, the more muscle that you're going to build. And like I talked about earlier, the more muscle you have, the higher your metabolism, okay? So it's better to lift heavy with less reps to build that muscle. And girls, don't worry, you're not going to get bulky. Believe me, I've been trying to up my arm muscles for like the last year, and I'm not getting bulky, okay? So you're not going to get bulky. So again, maybe taking something like bicep curls, shoulder presses, chest flies, back flies, and doing 10 to 12 reps of heavier weights as opposed to doing like, some girls like to grab the 3s or the 5s and they do like 30 reps. Go heavier, do less. Also, it's going to help reduce your risk of osteoporosis. So we're talking about your metabolism slowing at age 40. Well, unfortunately, your bones start to become more frail as you age as well. So making sure that you're doing weight-bearing exercises is really going to help prevent osteoporosis. Especially for women, we have it worse for sure than men do with that. I want to just read this too. Lifting weights can help speed metabolic rate because it builds lean muscle mass, which naturally uses more calories than body fat does. So that's just reiterating what I was saying. You ladies that are listening, let me know, are you doing HIIT training? Do you like HIIT training? Have you tried HIIT training? Have you tried burst training? Are you lifting weights? Just kind of let me know. I want to kind of see where you guys are at and things that you've tried, or if you're one of those people that did work out a lot and doesn't eat enough calories, or if you don't really work out at all. Okay, next one is to be, there's basically things called like metabolism death foods. So you make it a nice scary name, right? So it's basically just foods that cause inflammation in the body. So certain foods slow down the digestive processes and increase free radical damage, which I talk about basically every single Facebook Live that I do, which is the cause of aging. You can think of these as metabolism death foods. The body recognizes processed and inflammatory foods as toxins, and therefore eating these foods triggers your innate immune system fight or flight response, which increases stress hormone production and slows down the metabolic rate. So basically what I was saying earlier, that same thing as the cortisol. I love it. I do it on the elliptical. You do the burst training on the elliptical? Oh, that's awesome. So unfortunately, a lot of the foods that we think are healthy are actually slowing our metabolism down. So, and I think most of you watching know this now, but you know, the low calorie, the low fat, the sugar free, what other ones did I write down? Fortified, foods that say they're fortified. So basically think about like you're getting low fat sour cream or low fat frozen yogurt, or you're getting something that's sugar free. Well, what's in it that's making it sweet if it's not sugar? Is it aspartame? Is it one of those other chemicals that's going to affect your hormones, which again is going to affect the metabolism? You have to think about that every time you put something in your body that's not a whole food, and believe me, I'm not perfect. I'm not going to sit here and try to say that I never eat foods that aren't. I love chips. I got to have my ice cream. I love my pizza, but I eat it in moderation. Okay, it's not an everyday thing. Anything that you're putting in your mouth that's not a real whole food, you have to think about, well, what's it doing inside of you? And if it's doing something inside of you that it's not supposed to be doing, it's going to affect your hormones, it's going to affect your metabolism, it's going to affect your liver, it's going to affect every single part of your body. So when I say that food is medicine, like I'm not just being like, you know, jumping on that bandwagon of nutrition. It's like food is medicine. No, it really is. Food really is our medicine. And okay, sorry, I'm getting on a tangent. I tend to get on tangents, eh? So foods that you want to avoid would be sugary drinks, pop, fruit juices. They're going to slow your metabolism way down. And don't give me that BS of like, well, Diet Coke has 0 calories. Diet Coke, I'd actually rather you, this is fucked, but I'd actually rather you have a can of actual Coke than a Diet Coke. Obviously, I prefer that you have neither, but I would take the Coke over the Diet Coke. Aspartame and all that shit just freaks me out. You want to avoid processed foods. So those cereals and cookies and all those things that are in the aisles. I try to avoid the aisles for the most part, to be honest. When I go grocery shopping, I do the produce section, and then I swing over to maybe the meats, but like you guys know, I like to get organic meat, and then I go to the health food section, and that's basically it. The only time I deviate is I go to the frozen fruit section and the frozen veggie section. But if you can avoid those aisles, then you can avoid that temptation. But getting rid of those processed foods, chips, crackers, all that jazz, refined oils, so like canola oil, vegetable oil, those are metabolism killers. Artificial sweeteners, which I talked about with the Diet Coke, and then low quality like dairy and animal products. So like the beef that you're getting from McDonald's, like I feel like I don't need to say this. You guys know that. Like that is going to, that's not even beef. Like it's going to have such a crazy effect on your body. So just know that if you're going to eat it, just know that if you're struggling to lose the weight, unfortunately, you're going to have to clean that stuff up as well. So in getting rid of the metabolism death foods, I love how they call that metabolism death. It just sounds so hardcore. There's now the metabolism boosting foods. So I just saw a few questions come in. Love lifting heavy weights. Yes. It's so satisfying. Like it's like so empowering, and you feel so badass and strong when you lift those weights. So I totally agree with you, Steph. Rita, love HIIT. Right now I'm in the routine of doing RF workouts coupled with Orange Theory classes, and change is happening. That's awesome. That's so awesome. So how many days a week are you going to Orange Theory? I'm just curious about that. I do want to come give Orange Theory a class a try. I've heard they're pretty intense. So metabolism boosting foods. Protein. Protein is actually a great way to boost your metabolism. It's a great way to help build lean muscle mass. However, you don't need to overdo it. I've heard of trainers telling, first off, as a personal trainer, it enrages me when other personal trainers give food advice when they've never taken a nutrition course. Like, I've seen them actually and heard of them telling people that they should be consuming up to 250 grams of protein a day. Do you know what that would do to your freaking kidneys? Like that just, if you're going to get nutrition information, just one, either do your research, or two, just make sure you're going to somebody that knows what they're talking about. And it doesn't mean they have to be a holistic nutritionist. It doesn't mean they have to have tons of schooling. There are people that are self-taught that know a lot, but just, again, if it sounds a little too good to be true what they're telling you, or it sounds a little off, do your research. So one of the best ballparks when it comes to protein, because I get asked this a lot of how much protein should I be eating? Again, I don't count that stuff, but I think because I found a pretty good balance and I'm fairly in tune with my body that I can kind of tell what I need. But for those of you that maybe aren't quite there yet with your fitness and health journey, one way to look at it is that for every pound you weigh, you'd want about 0.8 grams of protein, roughly. Some are gonna want less, some are gonna want more, and it's gonna depend on your workout. So if you were a 150-pound person, you would take 150 times 0.8, and that's gonna be 120 grams of protein a day, roughly. Typically, you can actually go a little bit lower, to be honest. But you don't need those crazy amount of protein. And it's really actually not hard to get 100 grams of protein in a day. Like if you're having a smoothie in the morning and you're throwing in your collagen or some Vega powder, like the Vega has 20 grams of protein right there. Plus, if you're adding in chia seeds and hemp hearts and flax and fruits and vegetables and beans, like you don't even have to touch meat. You can be completely vegetarian and get your protein requirements. Or, yes, of course, things like chicken breast, your lean proteins, fish, beef every now and then, of course. I wouldn't recommend eating beef every day, but I definitely dabble in the beef department. So those are great ways to help boost the metabolism. So it says protein is beneficial for keeping energy and blood sugar stable, while also helping build calorie-burning lean muscle mass, which is what I was saying earlier. Eating foods with protein naturally forces your body to use up more calories during the digestion process than when eating carbs. And that is true because protein takes longer to digest. So 70 to 80% of your body's energy actually goes to digestion. Now, you don't want to be digesting all the time because you want your body to be able to repair itself and to heal. But if you're treating your body properly, protein is slower to digest, which means your body is going to be working to break it down, which will burn calories. Hi, Janie. Thanks for tuning in, babe. Okay, so we talked about protein. Green tea is actually a really great way to help boost your metabolism. It's high in antioxidants, and because it's lower in the caffeine, it's not going to have that same kind of jittery feeling with you. So I sip on green tea all day long. And again, because it's lower in caffeine too, it's not going to dehydrate you the same way that some of the other like black teas will. So you don't have to worry so much about dehydration with that. And it's just a great way to get extra water intake. And hydration, obviously, I talk about it all the time. You got to get your 2 to 3 liters of water in every day if you want your body to be working properly. Same thing with your metabolism. It's not going to work properly if you're not hydrated. Next, garlic. Garlic's a really awesome one to help rev up your metabolism. All right, we're getting near the end, guys. Also, before we wrap up, I've only got a few more things, food things to list. Make sure you ask me any questions, okay? So if you've got any questions about anything that I'm talking about or anything else, hit me with them. I love matcha green tea. Oh, I love the matcha powder in my smoothies. It makes such a huge difference in my energy boost in the morning with the matcha, or making matcha lattes, or even infusing matcha into my baking. Like I've really gotten into the matcha flavors, so that's awesome that you're using that, and that's going to help boost your metabolism, increase your energy levels, and just keep your energy levels more stable. Where, you know, coffee can kind of give you the up down, the matcha will keep you a lot more stable throughout the day. And foods that are warming, so things like turmeric and ginger, spicy foods, cinnamon, all those things, foods that warm you up are going to help speed up the metabolism. Also, cayenne pepper, chilies are known to increase heat in the body. So there's evidence that warming foods, spices like cinnamon, pepper, and ginger aid in burning fat for energy. Sweet. So also, I didn't actually have this in my notes, but I'll just talk about this really quickly. Just warming foods in general, I talked about this last week too, are really helpful for your digestion. So when you're constantly eating cold foods, cold drinks, ice cream, all those things, your body then has to increase the temperature, right? Because your body's supposed to be set at 97 point whatever degrees. So when you're eating something like ice cream, it's really cold, that goes into your stomach, but your body has to get back to that's normal body temperature, right? So it has to work really hard to heat it up. So I remember like probably 5-6 years ago, maybe even before that, when I was just getting into nutrition and stuff, reading a list and it said the top 50 ways to boost your metabolism. And one was sipping on ice water all day because your body has to work super hard to heat the water back up. So not accurate, okay? Like we talked about this last week, drinking cold beverages slows down your digestion and slows down your metabolism. But if you're consuming ice cold beverages with your dinner, it's going to stop your digestion and that's going to make you gain some weight. What grapefruits do you recommend? What do you like? Just like what kind of grapefruit, or do I recommend grapefruit? Because I recommend grapefruit. I don't eat grapefruit very much. It's a little too tart for me, but it's super good, and it is great actually for your metabolism as well. I'm allergic to garlic. Oh, Becky, really? That sucks. I'm a garlic fanatic. Are you allergic to onions too? I feel like a lot of people that are allergic to garlic seem to also be allergic to onions. Oh, and also apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is just so good for everything. So again, how I start my morning almost every single day is I heat up some water. I don't get it to boiling point, but just more like a lukewarm, and don't heat it in the microwave. Don't you dare heat it in the microwave. Heat it in the kettle. And then I had some fresh squeezed lemon juice, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and I sip on that. It's going to reduce your bloating. It's going to speed up your metabolism, and it's just going to make you feel incredible. It's got probiotics in it. It's amazing for balancing your blood sugar and just overall digestive health. So I want to talk about a few different things for snack options. So things that you can snack on that are going to help to boost your metabolism. So things like celery and almond butter. So remember like those old schools, ants on a leg, or no, wait, ants on a log? That's going to be a great one. It's got high protein. It's got fiber, antioxidants. Chia seed pudding is an awesome one. It's super high in protein as well. Again, same fiber, antioxidants. Oh, I saw Dawn just say something, and Dawn is also a holistic nutritionist. So I told her if she had any questions or if I missed anything to chime in. This is why I prefer a room temperature smoothie in the morning. The icy cold smoothie isn't great for the digestion. Yes, exactly. And it's funny, I was kind of like read that a long time ago and kind of forgot about it, and then picked up Julie Daniluk's Hot Detox book again for like the 3rd time, and like one of the first things she was talking about was that. And it's true, you don't want to start your day with something that's really cold, and that's why I like to do the warm water with lemon and apple cider vinegar. You actually like, I was listening to a podcast on Ayurvedic, I always say it wrong, Ayurvedic, whatever, medicine. They were saying that you have to think of it like your digestion is like a fire inside of you, right? Like a digestive fire. And the first thing in the morning you get up and you chug like a cold smoothie or cold water, you're really putting out that fire. But instead you want to increase the fire in your body. So the first thing you actually want to do is have something warm in your body. So the hot water with lemon is the perfect way to start. And then you can introduce things that are a little bit cooler. But like Dawn said, you don't want those really freezing cold smoothies. It's a little bit more forgiving in the summertime and the hot weather, but it's in the wintertime, it's really not good for your digestion. So yeah, don't go for super cold first thing in the morning. And, oh, sorry. And how does it taste? I forget, what were we talking about? The apple cider, is that what you're talking about? The apple cider vinegar with lemon? It's actually not, I'm used to it. A lot of the things that I like, if I give them to my family or I give them to Justin, they're like, but your palate changes, right? So I've gotten used to it, but what you can do is you can add the tiniest bit of stevia, or you can add like a tablespoon of honey, sweetens it up, and it actually kind of makes it taste a little bit more like lemonade. But start really small with the apple cider vinegar, like half a teaspoon even if you have to, just to ease yourself into it, and then you can start to add more and more. But I wouldn't really ever go above 2 tablespoons, unless, I think that's plenty, unless Dawn thinks otherwise, you can chime in, but I would say probably 2 tablespoons is plenty. Is there such a thing as too much apple cider? Oh, that's funny. I would probably err on about 2 tablespoons a day. I haven't done enough research, but just to be safe, that's what I would go with. I can barely stand the smell of apple cider. Yeah, I know. I tried to get Justin to start taking it because he's got some IBS issues, and he smelt it. I was like, no, like never am I doing it. But just again, when you dilute it with water and then lemon juice and a bit of honey, it really is a lot better. Okay, why do some brands of protein shakes make me more hungry? I don't know. It could be that you're not having a quality protein shake, or that you are not putting enough things in with the protein shake. So if you're using it as a meal replacement, having just say almond milk and the protein powder is not going to be enough. You want to add in things like bananas and chia seeds and flax seeds and spinach and apples, and make more of like a meal out of it by adding more real full whole foods, using the protein as like an additional thing as opposed to the main ingredient. You could even add things in like almond butter. That's going to help like to fill you up a little bit. Avocado is really good in filling. Some coconut oil, things like that. So just make sure that you're actually getting enough calories in the smoothie, and that should help hold you over. Oh, good, Dawn, respond. You can add a little honey and maple syrup to lemon. Yes, exactly. Yes, thank you. Cinnamon also. Yes, Brenda Lougheed, again with the tip. Adding a little cinnamon in is great as well. It's also going to help boost your metabolism. It's going to help balance out your blood sugar, and it's anti-inflammatory. So that cocktail in the morning is just going to set you up. And then if you go to your green smoothie, it's like you're killing it. Jackie, thank you. You're welcome. Donna, thanks. You're welcome. Other snack options, hummus. Hummus is a great one to snack on with veggies, but don't always get stuck with just chickpea hummus. If you make your own hummus, you can add tons of different ingredients in. Try doing a black bean hummus. That's going to be really filling, really high in fiber, lots of protein in that. Also, hard-boiled eggs are a great one. I really on a kick right now of hard-boiled eggs topped with a little bit of hummus. Delicious. Or doing hard-boiled or deviled eggs, but instead of adding mayo in, I'll add like some hummus or some avocado and mix it all up, put it on top. Amazing. And the last one I wrote down is doing like a homemade trail mix. So having lots of different nuts and seeds. Again, typically when you're doing your nuts and seeds, you want to go for unsalted and raw. I know it kind of takes the fun out of it, but it's going to be a lot better for you, and you're just going to get used to it. So things like almonds, Brazil nuts. Brazil nuts are something that I really encourage you guys to actually start eating more regularly. They're super high in selenium. Like you literally only need 2 to 4 Brazil nuts a day to get your selenium requirements, and it's a mineral that we often don't get enough of. So if you can add those into your diet, throwing in even some like dark chocolate chips, almonds, cashews, pumpkin seeds, all those things, and that's going to really help keep you satisfied. It's high in the protein, high in the healthy fats, so it's going to boost that metabolism as well. So that's everything I wanted to talk to you guys about. However, the last thing I do want to discuss, unless you guys have more questions, is talking about the Banish the Bloat Challenge. So you have to be signed up by this Thursday. You have Thursday until midnight. We have about 750 girls signed up right now. Ashley and I are really hoping to get it to 1,000. So if you've got, I know a lot of you have already signed up, so if you've got friends or family or people that you think would be awesome at doing this, send it to them, share it with them, get them involved. I like to think that we're already at 1,000 because I know that so many husbands and boyfriends and stuff have joined and done it with their ladies. So I know last time we had quite a few people, and again, of course, some men were dropping weight like crazy because men are lucky. So again, share that. We really want to push it. We want to help as many women as we can possibly help. I don't think there's anything else to cover. I think this is it. Super excited for the challenge. Yeah, I'm really excited. So for those of you that do Royally Fit Online, you got the brand new meal plan today and you saw the new layout and how freaking awesome it is. So it's going to be the same type of layout for the 7-day challenge. So you're going to be getting photos of everything. You're going to be getting a grocery list, some notes. It's really top quality. We're so proud of it. It looks beautiful. It feels so professional. So don't miss out because this is a really awesome challenge. That's it. Okay. Have a great night, guys, and we'll chat with you next week. Okay. Bye.